I know you self-published the series. I understand from listening to another interview that you did that that was not the original intention, but you were going to publishers, but that your publishing journey in
Yeah.
some ways wasn't that dissimilar from what a lot of aspiring writers have experienced, but in other ways was very different. So can you tell me a bit about what happened when you reached out to publishers with the idea?
Yes, because I didn't want to self-publish. That seemed very stressful. So I thought, okay, this is a great idea. Nobody's doing this.
And it feels like a no-brainer as well, doesn't it? Like it feels like you'd hear that and you're like, oh yeah, there's no black representation in
Yeah,
children's books of Down syndrome. That sounds really obvious for a publisher.
really, really obvious. It seemed like a no-brainer to me. And because my son kept showing everybody these books and the feedback and responses we were getting from other people who had kids, neurotypical, but also other people that had kids with special needs, there was a market for this. I was like, okay, oh, this is going to be no-brainer. So I sent it to publishers both in Nigeria, in Kenya, and in the UK and the US. I didn't expect anybody to answer me in the UK and US because I didn't have an agent. I know how that works. So I was not expecting to hear. However, in the African region, I was expecting to hear, and I would understand if I had just been rejected, but I was rejected with like viciousness. In that it wasn't, oh, we're not looking for this kind of thing right now. It's like, no, nobody's gonna read this. Nobody's gonna buy this for their child. This is a shame. This is a stigma. You shouldn't be talking about this. Those are the kind of things that people were saying to me. But I didn't get down about it because I'm living this, right?
Mm.
I live the hardships. I live the many experiences of joy and love that happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, because I'm living this and because I'm also the target market of which we're reaching, it was a no-brainer to then just say, you know what, F you, and I'm going to do this. Yeah. And that's really how it went on. And even then, once I had gone about printing it, it was a struggle for distribution because I met the same obstacles. I met the obstacles saying that we're not going to sell this. People will run away from our shop. They're not going to put, this, people don't want to face this. You can't, no, we're not going to have this in our shop. Or they would tell you that, oh, well, we only carry imported books. We don't carry books by Nigerian authors, which just blew my mind because I'm like, what are you talking about? We're in Nigeria. We're like 100% Black nation. How are you saying you're not going to carry books by Nigerian authors? It didn't make sense. And I would respond to them and say, I mean, I go to the UK and if I want to have my books in a store, they've been published and everything, nobody's going to tell me, but as a British citizen, that they're not going to carry books by British authors. It's crazy. So there's that mindset of Nigerians, Africans are lesser than the global north. Mm-hmm. That what we make, the stories that we tell aren't worthy. And this is, if you think about bookstores which cater for children, distributors that cater for children, that means 99% of the content that they're supplying schools, that they're supplying families, does not represent the environment in which we're in, which is really, really sad. So that's something I really kind of actively combated. I started this thing called Our Books Matter, and that kind of got the attention, and that got our books into quite a few stores because I just shamed people. I just shamed them. Yeah. I would go to their stores and I would rate them out of 10 and have people vote, and I shamed them. And I think also being a founding member of ACAIN, which is the Association of Children Authors and Illustrators of Nigeria, and pulling together other people who are in the same space doing quality work, and we coming together to form this association, which means we move as a group. If I'm going somewhere, I'm always like, guys, I'm going here. I'm going to take, the books. I'm going to let them know that even though they're accepting mine, there's a whole bunch of other quality stuff. When we're doing panels, we want to invite, ACAIN members and things like that. So there's this community of which we are able to move forward together, not just me on my own.